Paranoid personality disorder (PPD) is a type of personality disorder characterized by persistent, excessive suspicion and distrust. They do not accept others' words and actions at face value, interpreting them as harboring hidden intentions or threats. For example, even when someone is kind, they may question, why is that person being so kind? Could there be some ulterior motive? This tendency to escalate even minor actions into malicious attacks leads to frequent conflict in interpersonal relationships and a constant state of vigilance. Paranoid personality disorder tends to be defensive and hostile. They perceive themselves as constantly fighting to protect their rights. They often fail to perceive criticism or advice as constructive feedback, interpreting it as an attempt to belittle them. Consequently, they tend to have high self-esteem and adopt a defensive attitude, and even minor insults can elicit intense anger. This attitude can cause problems in all relationships, including work, family, and social life. This distrust of others also manifests in intimate relationships. They may question the loyalty of spouses and close friends, constantly seeking to monitor and verify their actions. The fear of being betrayed easily destabilizes relationships, sometimes causing the other person to leave out of exhaustion. However, the individual blames the other person's problems and fails to reflect on their own behavior. Paranoid personality disorder is often rooted in internal anxiety and low self-confidence. However, outwardly, they display a strong sense of pride and self-assurance, believing their interpretations are absolutely correct. This hinders their ability to consider others' perspectives or empathize with them. In fact, they often put up defensive barriers before manipulating or attacking others. Socially, these attitudes can sometimes be viewed as strengths. For example, vigilance and an analytical mindset can enable quick responses in crisis situations or serve as self-protection tools in competitive environments. However, the problem is that this distrust and wariness can become excessive, disrupting normal cooperation and intimacy, ultimately isolating the individual. Treating paranoid personality disorder is challenging. The individual often fails to recognize the problem, and even the therapist often views them with suspicion. Therefore, establishing a trusting relationship requires a long period of time. In psychotherapy, it's crucial to alleviate distrust and help individuals see others' behavior from a variety of perspectives. Additionally, methods such as meditation and cognitive behavioral therapy that cultivate emotional regulation and thought flexibility can also be helpful. In conclusion, paranoid personality disorder is more than simply being suspicious. It's an entrenched pattern that forces individuals to live their entire lives in a state of distrust and wariness. The isolation of those who lack trust in others ultimately causes them great suffering. Therefore, when understanding from society and those around them, along with professional therapeutic intervention, is combined, their lives can gradually become more peaceful and stable.